when the wastegate's bigger than the turbo on your WRX. Well, we are in some choppy water today, guys. Dude, look at these waves, bro. There's a whole bunch of other jet ski guys out there just jumping. Yes, dude. Yes, dude. Oh, brother. This is so sick. All right, let's see if we can get Wyatt hitting a big wake right here. Holy shit! Oh, watch out! 100% worth the purchase, dude. Went a little farther. Well, that's a nice oh my god. Bro, look at all the paint on the ground.
No lie, a little stupid on my part, okay? But it was funny.
I enjoyed watching it.
So I got the exhaust pulled back off of the MR2, and right now I am finishing it up completely. We have our kickouts right here that we are going to be welding on to the end of the exhaust right there. I actually just ordered a couple 45s, and I only needed one. I just ended up cutting one in half down the center, so you know, whatever 45 and half is, like 22 and a half, that's what these are now. The full 45 was a little excessive, so the old exhaust just had two deals like this. We're gonna get those guys welded on right there and there. We'll have our kickouts so we hopefully don't melt our parachute in half, and we'll be good to go. So we got the MR2 up on the lift here, and we are getting started on having ourselves a flat bottom MR2. So this isn't the final form, but this will get us by for right now. The MR2s from factory have a massive tunnel because that's where the factory fuel tank went. We no longer have the factory fuel tank in the car, so that tunnel was not necessary for us. We cut a huge piece of it out, and that is over there. We're getting rid of all of that stuff, and instead of having this huge gaping hole right here, we decided to get some sheet metal and cover that up. That will help with our aerodynamics a bit and stuff like that, and that's how we're gonna run it for right now. But eventually we would like to flat bottom the whole car all the way up to the front weight plate there, and then even cover up the engine and stuff back here. If we do that, that'll help with our aerodynamics that much more. We won't have turbulence building up under the car with wind catching all of this stuff in here. But for now, this is better than nothing, and that came out really freaking good. That looks awesome. Not too bad for an hour of work.
Hopefully get rid of at least one air dam under here. Catch it, or keep it from catching air as it comes onto the car. So
yeah.
There was kind of a whole bunch of spots that were like that just because where the factory stuff was. So
Yeah, that should definitely help. So
mitigate that part of it, and like he said, one day kind of do it up here too and under the engine. So now you're gonna have a rattle trap that's gonna sit and go.
So out of curiosity, I went ahead and threw the NSX on the scale, see how much this thing weighs, and she is sitting right at 2293 with nobody in the car. And that is pretty good. That is light, under 2,300 pounds, and it's looking about 40% of the weight is on the nose and 60 over the rear, which, like the MR2, that is not a very good weight split. The wheelbase on the NSX is a couple inches longer than the MR2, so the front tires are actually a little further out, so there would be a little more leverage to get this thing to wheelie at the track. But you know, given that weight bias, if we did try to take this down the strip, very high chance this would also pull the front tires off the ground, which I don't know if we're doing that anytime soon. But yeah, I was kind of curious just to see where the weight was sitting on this thing. It is basically a big MR2. All right, got the exhaust all done for the MR2 here, got our little kickouts on the end so we can keep the exhaust gas away from the parachute. And I was going to put this on right now and kind of make sure it looks good and fits right still. But before we put this on, I'm gonna go ahead and open this box over here because we actually got our wastegate today for the MR2, and this exhaust is kind of in the way if we were to throw it on now. So we're just gonna leave that off for a second and show you guys what we got in this box right here. So this came from Turbo Smart. Super excited on this. This is really cool. You guys are gonna wanna see what we got in store for the MR2. And also another note, we started getting the radiator mounted up. It's back here. Working on that too. Haven't showed it, but radiator's gonna go right there. We just gotta make another mount for that guy and it will be in place. Get our fan on there. Radiator's good to go after that. But let's go ahead and get this opened up. So we've been kind of waiting for this for a minute, but once we actually got the confirmation from them, they got this to us right away. So this I'm very excited about.
Sheesh, at least
Dude,
nice and
they
packaged.
bagged them so they don't go everywhere.
Gosh,
Look
dang.
at that. That is quality.
Take notes, folks.
Look at that. You just throw it away, you're done. They don't fly around. We got ourselves some Turbo Smart decals because what is inside here is from our boys over at Turbo Smart. I'm very excited on this. Oh, we got some hats. We got some merch. They got an XL for you.
Hey.
Actually, another one. Oh, dude, these are all XL.
Thanks, Boo.
It's all you.
Banner.
Got a banner.
Woo. Should we peek the ones that we put
Bigger
up?
decal. Oh yeah, we got a couple banners going up. Got Fuel Tech and Nitto up there.
We got a couple more.
Yeah, we still have several back there, but we're working on it.
Slowly but surely.
It was very hot hanging those up there. The shop is
It's like 100
all the
degrees.
heat rising. And I was up there for what?
30
20,
minutes.
30
We're
minutes.
Sweating.
Sitting there trying to drill into the beams, but they made it. Let's start with the not as exciting piece, but a very
Still a
important
very
piece that we
nice
needed.
piece.
Still a very nice piece, still
Yeah.
excited. Just not as exciting as what's in that box. All right, so to start off with, from Turbo Smart, we have ourselves, I believe this is their Gen 5 blow-off valve in black. So,
Look at that.
got that guy right there. Comes with the flange and everything ready to be welded on.
Dang.
One of the highest flowing blow-off valves on the market right there, considering its size. Yeah, that is a beautiful little unit right there. Turbo Smart Gen 5 blow-off valve. We don't have a blow-off valve for the MR2 yet, so there she is. This was on like twin eBay blow-off valves in the past, but we are upgrading to a much more efficient and nicer quality blow-off valve from Turbo Smart. So we got that guy, and what we're really excited for is what's in this box right here. So we got some innovation in here, boys. The MR2 is not getting just your average wastegate. It is getting
I was gonna say we're,
very
we're skipping like 2 generations. We went from like just boost controller to the gate, skipped right over CO2,
Yep.
and we're just going full tilt right here.
Yeah, so the original plan for the MR2 was to go to CO2 boost control, which is where you run a CO2 bottle in the car, and basically it sends that pressurized CO2 to the top or bottom of the wastegate to open and close it to control your boost, and it does work very well. A lot of guys running Fuel Tech, that's the system they choose to run with. But there's another type of wastegate that is compatible with our Fuel Tech FT550 for the MR2 here. That is what is inside this box right here. So we are no longer going to CO2 boost control, we are doing something much cooler, in my opinion. This is really cool. So, whoa, there she is.
Let me see it.
Look at that.
Sheesh.
Load. It's a hefty unit right there.
That is an absolute
Let's
unit.
get this thing out of here. I've never seen one of these in person, so this is cool. I saw some of you guys guess it in the comments when we kind of hinted at what we were doing, but this is a Turbo Smart 60 millimeter electronic wastegate. You heard that right. It is fully electronic. You can see these wires we have coming out of the back here. You wire it into power and ground, and then the rest of it wires into the computer, and the ECU tells this when it needs to open and close. And the precision you can get with these is unlike no other wastegate. It is freaking insane. I know some of you guys thinking right away, an electronic wastegate, that's gonna get messed up with how hot these get, but these have been thoroughly tested. They have tested them actually up to 2,300 degrees. I've seen videos of these things red hot, still operating perfectly. They're gear driven, so they have a whole bunch of torque. You are not gonna stop that valve from opening or closing whichever way it wants to go. There's a lot of power behind this valve as well, so we don't need to, what?
Thing is huge.
Yeah.
I'm just admiring.
I just saw Wyatt like shaking his head like to stop or something. But dude, this thing is
It's massive, bro.
Look at that, dude.
That is a unit.
That is a
And
monster
this is the big boy
wastegate.
one. I don't know if you mentioned it, but this is the 60 mil.
So Turbo Smart 60 mil is the highest flowing 60 mil wastegate on the market, and this is pretty much the same as their Gen 5 wastegate as well, but this is just the electronic version, so this still flows just as much as their regular 60 mil gates, but it's just controlled electronically, which is just freaking, dude, so sweet. So the only thing we do have to do is run 2 coolant lines. We have a in and out port, I believe, right there. It has the little coolant symbol. So they are pretty small, like 1/8 inch MPT fittings. It does require some coolant to keep cool, but you know, considering you don't have to run a CO2 bottle anymore, and we have the precision of an electronic gear-driven motor to move this valve up and down exactly when we want it to. We don't need any boost pressure to open and close the gate. You know, this is like the leading edge in boost control technology right here, is this 60 mil electronic wastegate from Turbo Smart. That is our new wastegate for the MR2, boys.
Just throw it on there, brother.
Yeah, let's make sure she fits. We had to measure before we said go ahead and get this thing on the way, because these are pretty tall. As you can see, they're probably a little bit taller than the average wastegate. The other one is maybe 1.5 inches so shorter because of all the stuff they got going on in here, but we should have plenty of room on our manifold right there. Oh yeah, she is gonna go just like that. Clamp on there. Dude, that thing is so
Dude, that is a unit.
sweet. Damn.
Dude,
When
get
the-
the fire ring, the clamp, let's throw that thing on.
When the wastegate's bigger than the turbo on your WRX. Dude, that's a big wastegate. Been a while since I had a flat bill on. Got that Turbo Smart merch.
Sheesh.
Alright. Benefits of not having the exhaust back here. I think we should have this. I mean, it's not in its final form yet, but probably put it something like that and just have the dump probably go down to the ground. Something like that. Our little wiring harness is right there, so once we get that wired in, we can just run it along there, tuck it nice out of the way, go out the back of the car here, and that's that. Got a wastegate on. Freaking pump. That thing is sweet, dude. Oh yeah, look how easy that fits now. I actually shortened the tips down about 1 inch because they stuck out a little farther than I'd liked, but now they look almost identical to how it was before. So that goes on real nice and easy. Will be about like that. It's a little low right now because I gotta get it tight, but looks pretty good. Looks just like how it did when I had the twin turbo setup. Now we just got one. So I mean, it's very close now. Just got to get our lines ran from the engine to the radiator there, get the wastegate dump made, get the wastegate and all that stuff wired in, get the coolant lines that the wastegate needs. She is getting very close, guys. So I got the car back on the ground right now, and you can see our bottom is all covered up there with the sheet metal. Well, I did an awesome job on that, and like I kind of showed earlier, we got the tunnel cut out right here because if you guys remember, this tunnel came up to like there, and I actually notched this section out back when I did the shifter for the Quave sequential, and that's where our handbrake is mounted all to this plate right here. But since we don't have the gas tank anymore, got rid of all that. Now it doesn't look so awkward with our wiring harness like squeezing through this little slit that I cut for the cage. So now we can actually clean all this stuff back up, probably reroute this shifter cable under the roll cage there, and we'll be able to run our harness from the engine through the tunnel here, go underneath, and then have it come up back behind the dash somewhere and come into the back of our FT500 ECU right here. So we'll have a nice clean route for the wiring harness to run, and it's just going to look much better overall. Because before we had nowhere to run the harness, it would have had to like come out here and then attach it to the side of the tunnel, or on this side as well, or if it was down under there without covering the bottom, the harness would just be exposed to being right underneath the car. So we kind of wanted to keep it protected. So now we got a nice little spot to run all that stuff. Yeah, right now all this is open right here, and I can actually see the fuel lines, and we're going to be closing all of this up with more sheet metal as well. So we'll have all that sealed up so the inside of the car here doesn't have exposure to the fuel lines if anything happens. Because another thing you want to do on drag cars is make sure the cabin of the car is pretty airtight in case of fires and stuff like that. So we got to do our best to seal all this stuff up as well. But yeah, that's looking way better than it did before, for sure. So getting there on that. We'll get the harness and stuff ran. We still got a lot of little things to do, sensors to put on. We have some wheel speed sensors to install from Hux Racing, so we'll be getting to that hopefully soon. And yeah, just keep buttoning up as we go. Once again, another big fancy on that one.
You gonna have that on them big job.
Big fancy. Lots of big fancy parts in the MR2. You know, hopefully we don't even have to use the wastegate. I mean, I should
Hopefully we can just keep it shut.
Yeah, we should just return it and just weld the plate on there, because we're trying to send it, boys. No, I'm kidding. That thing is freaking sweet.
Yeah, it is.
So,
What a unit.
yes, sir. I can almost hear it on the dyno now. Almost. Whoa.
Shit.
Dang it, dude. Forgot to plug the wastegate in, and it made all the boost.
So yeah, that time it was 100 pounds of boost.
We ain't gonna try to crank her that hard on the dyno, but
Yeah,
hopefully we get her
just crack
buttoned up.
1,000 and go to the track and turn it
yeah,
up.
I think that's the plan. Get that 1,000 horse mark, and then the rest we'll save for the track. That's the plan for the dyno. But she's getting so close.
Don't come out swinging.
It's gonna come out flying to the moon.
Moon tune, baby.
Once again, huge thanks to TurboSmart. I'm very excited to try out the electronic wastegate on the MR2 here. When it comes to boost control, that electronic wastegate is pretty much as advanced as it gets, and no other company makes one like it. So very excited to try that thing out. And I also want to give a huge thanks to you guys that showed all the love and support on the new NSX here. I am so glad you guys are just as excited about it as I am, and I know you guys want to see some more content on this thing, and it will be coming. I think we're actually going to take this thing on a cruise tomorrow, get some awesome shots of it, and have some fun, but that will be for another day. Today's video was an update on the MR2. So anyways, guys, that's going to be it for today. Hope you enjoyed, and we will see you later.